everyone at home. Haribo and Namaste. We're about to have a little kirtan, Joshua and I, and we've found some instruments around the house. Maybe you have some percussion instruments as well that you'd like to use to join in the kirtan. What have we got here, Joshie?
Sticks.
We've got sticks. And what's this called?
Tambourine.
Tambourine.
And the shaker.
And a nice pink shaker. I wonder what's inside. Sounds like, what do you think?
Balls.
Balls or beads?
Little balls.
I've got another instrument which is a tuned instrument. And this one is called a ukulele. And it has 4 strings. Well, on my ukulele...
Let me count them.
Oh, okay, you count them.
See.
Let's have a look.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, good. It's got 4 strings. I'm glad they're all there. I wonder if they're in tune. Let's listen. Does that sound good? It does. It sounds pretty good. All right. Well, we're going to start off with a tune.
Mum,
Yeah.
Mum,
Yes.
I want to chant now.
We're going to chant now. Of course we are. So we're going to do an A minor and a G. And what are you going to play, Joshua?
You have to do it this loud.
Okay. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Siddhaswarapananda Paramahamsa Rishi Namine Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. What's your favourite thing to sing?
Nishringa.
Nishringa. Nishringa, Nishringa, Jaya Lord 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 Nishringa. Now, you may all know that Nrsimha is a form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of half man and half lion. And Jaya means all glories or victory. All right, I'm going to put this ukulele down now. And I'm thinking I might play this one. Okay, after 3, we'll sing Krishna, 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 hey. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Very good. Well, I've got a little friend that's going to join us today, but he's a little bit scared of all the noise. So let's put the instruments away, because they're a little bit noisy for him. And I wonder who he is. Oh. Oh, here he is. Oh, how are you, Tilak the tiger?
Hey, Tilak the tiger get a little smile there.
We haven't seen Tilak the tiger for a little while. He must have been out adventuring in the big jungles.
You want to check on the town?
Oh, he is a little bit ticklish, isn't he? How about we just give him a nice stroke? Oh, he really likes that. So our story today is a bit different than the other stories. Our video is about everything happens for a reason. And you know, there's an old saying, and it says, there's not a blade of grass which moves without the will of God.
What does that mean?
Well, this means whatever happens, good or bad, to everyone, it's by the mercy of Krishna. Do you know what a parable is?
What's a parable?
Do you know what a parable is? That's a big word, isn't it? Well, it's a story. It's a fable, which is a story with a very important meaning.
Is it this?
It's
Parable?
a parable. That's right. It's like a story with a moral. Well, I'm going to tell you a story about a king. Would you like to hear the story, Tiger?
Yes, please.
Once upon a time, there was a great king who had a faithful and trustworthy minister who was always by his side. The king was kind to his people and always did the right things, but he did have a temper. His minister was very patient and a great believer in God and very understanding. The minister had different ideas to the king. He believed that everything happened because God is in control. But the king, on the other hand, believed that he was responsible for everything and that he made everything happen. Even though they had these differences, they were very good friends. On one occasion, the king went out hunting and his minister went with him. In those days, there were many wild, dangerous beasts who were disturbing the people who were living in the forests. So the king's job was to go out hunting to help and protect the people who were living in the forest. Suddenly, when they were out riding on their horses, a huge cobra slithered from out of the bushes and frightened the king's horse. The king came hurling off his horse as the horse kicked violently. When the king fell off, the snake quickly bit him and injected poison into his finger. The king had to act very quickly, otherwise the poison from the snake would go into his heart and kill him. So with his sword, he cut off his finger. The minister carefully bandaged the very sore hand of the king and tried to pacify him with some wise words, and he said, "O king, accept this as the mercy of the Lord, and accept that it is all part of his bigger plan." The king was furious and very upset at these words of the minister and yelled at him, "Be quiet." The enraged king ordered his men to send the minister to the city and put him in the dungeon prison. The minister was very shocked by this, as they were very good friends. The king then set off on his hunting trip, all alone through the forest. In the forest, there was a gang of bandits who captured and tied up the king. Their leader was very happy and spoke roughly to the king. "I'm going to kill you and offer your blood to the goddess Kali." The king, who was tied with ropes, had no way of saving himself, and then the leader ordered his men to prepare the king for the sacrifice. As the men were getting him ready and washing his body before killing him, they noticed a finger was missing on his hand. The leader was very disappointed and said, "Well, we can't offer an incomplete human to Kali. Release him and go find someone else," he yelled. The king was so relieved and he sped off on his horse back to the city. He went straight to the dungeon prison and released his minister and hugged him and said, "Oh, by the mercy of the Lord, I lost a finger, and as a result, my whole life was saved." The king told the crazy story to his minister and then stopped and said, "I'm still a bit confused. If everything that happens is the mercy of the Lord, then what was the reason for you being thrown in this dungeon?" The minister laughed and said, "Well, if you hadn't sent me back to the city, to the dungeon, I would have been taken by the bandits in your place as the human offering." The king and his minister laughed loudly and were glad to be alive, and then certainly agreed that not a blade of grass moved without the will of God. I've got some spirit souls here and some very little bodies.
Look at T-Lock the tiger.
Look how small they are. And I'm sure you know what the name of this animal is. It's a rabbit or a bunny. We've got two of them here. In today's video, you'll see these little bunnies growing right from the day that they were born. I'm sure you're going to really enjoy watching it. So this is what they look like today, and they're 3 weeks old.
Supposed to turn one day
They're 3 weeks old.
They turned 1, then 2, then 3.
They did. They turned 1 week, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks. They're very easy to hold when they're little. But soon they're going to be twice the size of this in no time at all, because their bodies have grown already from the size of this big to this big just in 3 weeks. Would you like to watch that video now? Let's watch the video of how the bunnies grew over the last few weeks. Here you can see the rabbit's nest. She's pulled out her tummy fur to make a really huge, comfy, warm nest for her babies. She had 5 babies. This is them when we found them. They have very, very little fur and their eyes are sealed shut. Just look how tiny they are and compared to my hand. Back to your nest to keep nice and warm. Look how they flip around. They can't see yet, remember? Now this is them at 4 days. They're still snug and warm in their nest and they haven't left it yet. It looks like there's 3 brownish ones with white and 2 black ones. They have tiny little teeth and tiny little claws. See how they've just got a little bit more fur now. This is their mother, Shanti. Here are the bunnies at 7 days old. Their eyes are still shut. Look how much fur they have now, and we can see what colours they're going to be. They still sleep a lot and cuddle up to keep warm. Now look, just at 10 days old. They've now opened their eyes. And this one is walking around the room, very cautiously and a little bit wobbly on her legs. She's wondering what everything is. Now this is the mother Shanti feeding her babies. It's very late at night and they get fed for around 5 minutes only a day. They have so much milk in that 5 minutes and the milk is so sustaining that keeps them fed for 24 hours. Look how they have to try and push underneath their mother. Here they are. Look at these photos of them. They love to sleep and they always cuddle up together. Now they're 3 weeks old. They have really thick fur and they're able to run around on the grass and eat. They like to eat everything. They eat hay and straws, fresh grass, carrots, lettuce, and some nice dried food pellets for rabbits. They're really enjoying investigating the garden and pulling out the grasses. Look at the bunnies having their nighttime feed. It's hard for all of them to fit underneath their mother now. They're still really tiny, but it's pretty hard to fit underneath one rabbit when there's 4 of you. Let me in there, let me in. Look at their feet sticking out. There we go. Now she's having a good suckle. Look, can you see the other one popping out from behind the mother? Oops. Look Look at her on her back, kicking and kicking to try and get in. It's quite a struggle to have a feed when there's so many of you trying to do it at the same time. But the mother has been very patient and giving them their good 5 minutes feed. Well done, Shanti. You're a good mother. The bunnies are now 4 weeks old. They love to try lots of different foods, and they get very excited and like to jump around and flick their ears. I've just put them in their new outside run. There's rocks for them to climb and areas to explore. This is where they're going to live as they grow. I'm sure they're going to be very content here. Next week they're going to go with the daddy rabbit. And then soon they're all going to live together. The mum, the dad and all the babies. Well, I hope you learnt something from the story today. So just remember in your life that whatever happens, good situations or bad situations, just keep that faith in the Supreme Person, God, and always pray to Him for help and assistance and guidance in your life. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. It's been a fun time reading the story today. Now it's time to say Haribo and Namaste. Is Tiger going to say Namaste? Can Tiger say Namaste? Oh, look! Namaste, Tilak the Tiger, and Namaste everyone at home. See you next time.